Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Janelle Brown has always been the quiet strength of the Sister Wives universe, the one who rarely raises her voice, who calmly weighs the pros and cons before making a decision, and who usually avoids taking sides in explosive feuds. But in 2025 something snapped, something changed, and fans are still in disbelief after witnessing the moment she finally dragged David Woolley in a way that no one saw coming. While at the same time Robyn Brown dropped a brutal confession that left Kody Brown absolutely shattered, breaking down the last fragile strands of the once polygamous empire, and the fallout has sparked endless debates across social media as people try to piece together how the Browns' storyline spiraled into this stage of scorched earth drama, a level of chaos that even TLC's cameras may have struggled to capture without viewers pausing, rewinding, and rewatching in disbelief. So, let's dive deep into the explosive events that have reignited the Sister Wives saga. Janelle, known for her practical approach to life and her determination to rebuild after leaving Kody, had been in a somewhat amicable position with Christine Brown and Christine's husband, David Woolley, often appearing supportive of Christine's newfound happiness. But insiders claimed that beneath the surface Janelle felt a growing unease about David's influence and the way Christine seemed to be bending her entire post-Kody life around her new man's desires, and this unease came to a head during a family gathering where Christine proudly introduced a joint business plan with David, presenting it as a family-inclusive project, only for Janelle to cut through the sugar-coated optimism with a scathing critique, pointing out that David wasn't respecting the individuality Christine had always fought for, accusing him of replacing one controlling husband with another in a softer disguise. And when Janelle's words spilled out, they landed with the force of years of bottled-up frustration, and David reportedly snapped back, sparking an icy war of words that has since gone viral in leaked retellings from those who were present. Janelle's drag was not some minor jab. It was a full-blown dismantling, a bold accusation that David was becoming the very thing Christine once resented in Kody, and for fans who have always adored Christine's independence and glow-up, Janelle's perspective hit a nerve because it raised uncomfortable questions. Is Christine really free? Or has she unconsciously chained herself to a new dynamic that echoes the old one? While Christine was visibly shaken, Robyn Brown was quietly sitting in the corner of that same gathering, and when she finally opened her mouth, jaws dropped across the room, because Robyn unleashed a brutal confession that shattered Kody's already fragile ego. She admitted, perhaps for the first time publicly, that she was tired of being painted as the villain, tired of Kody's obsession with controlling the narrative, and tired of carrying the blame for the collapse of a family that had already been crumbling long before she entered the picture. And then she went even further, confessing that Kody had made promises to her, promises about financial stability, about Coyote Pass, about a forever home, that he had failed to keep. And in that moment Kody's mask slipped as the weight of Robyn's honesty hit him harder than any criticism from his ex-wives. Witnesses described Kody as shattered, visibly deflated, as if Robyn's words pierced the last bit of denial he had been clinging to, and for perhaps the first time fans could see cracks forming in the one relationship that had always seemed untouchable, the sacred bond between Kody and his so-called favorite wife. Social media exploded with reactions. Some applauded Janelle for dragging David and finally calling out what many had whispered about behind closed doors. Others praised Robyn for finally admitting the truth that she had long hidden, while Kody's dwindling supporters argued that everyone was piling on a man who had given his life to a vision of family that no one else wanted to sustain. And the discourse only deepened as leaked details about the confrontation continued to circulate. What makes this twist so fascinating is how it flips the expected roles. Janelle, the peacemaker, suddenly became the sharpest critic in the room. David, the supposed savior of Christine's broken heart, was called out as a potential replacement for Kody. Christine herself seemed stunned and conflicted. Robyn turned into the truth-teller rather than the scapegoat, and Kody, the man who once stood as the patriarchal figurehead, was left humiliated, betrayed, and utterly shattered, staring at the pieces of a family that had slipped away one confession and one drag at a time. For Janelle, this drag may have been years in the making. Her marriage to Kody ended in heartbreak and financial struggles, with her admitting that she walked away with almost nothing while Kody flaunted donations and acts of wealth. So seeing Christine rebuild around David, who sometimes showcases his own financial flexes, likely triggered Janelle's raw honesty, because she knew what it felt like to watch a man's decisions determine her destiny. And she couldn't bear to watch Christine repeat history. For Robyn, her brutal confession was a survival move. For years she has been cast as the manipulative villain, but her voice that day carried a different weight, as if she was tired of living in the shadow of Kody's excuses, ready to reclaim her own agency, and ready to let the world know that she too feels betrayed. And for Kody, the fallout is nothing short of catastrophic. Once adored, once feared, once commanding the loyalty of multiple wives, he is now the man left standing in the ruins, shattered by Robyn's admission, ridiculed by Janelle's boldness, and increasingly irrelevant in a narrative that no longer bends to his will. Fans speculate that TLC cameras have captured all of this for the next season, and if so, it could become one of the most explosive chapters in Sister Wives history, the kind of raw family implosion that reality TV thrives on, the kind of drama that turns whispers into viral headlines. Janelle's drag of David Woolley and Robyn's brutal confession to Kody will not fade quietly into the background. They are seismic shifts in the Brown family saga, moments that redefine the dynamics, and moments that prove once again why the Sister Wives story continues to captivate audiences across the world, because it's never just about plural marriage, it's about the raw, messy, and painfully relatable struggle of people trying to find love, security, and truth in the middle of broken promises. The fallout from Janelle Brown's verbal drag of David Woolley and Robyn Brown's brutal confession against Kody Brown didn't just end in that one moment. It set off a chain reaction that has rippled across the entire Sister Wives universe, sparking not only conversations inside the family, but also a storm of speculation from fans, bloggers, and even former insiders who claimed that this confrontation marked a turning point in the Browns' fractured story. And what makes it so shocking is that it completely flips the script on who the heroes and villains of this tale are, leaving viewers scrambling to reassess everything they thought they knew about the relationships that have defined more than a decade of reality television. Janelle, who once defended Christine's choices and applauded her for leaving Kody to find happiness, found herself clashing with David in a way that revealed her deepest fears, that Christine, in her eagerness to embrace a new love story, had fallen into a similar trap she once escaped, a cycle of putting a man's ambitions ahead of her own independence. And Janelle's words cut like a blade when she told Christine that freedom means nothing if you hand over the steering wheel to someone else. A line that fans now repeat endlessly on social media, dissecting its meaning and praising Janelle for her raw honesty. David, who has always been painted as Christine's knight in shining armor, did not take the critique lightly, reportedly snapping back at Janelle with a remark that suggested she was jealous of Christine's happiness and couldn't stand to see someone else succeed where she had failed. And those words only fueled the fire because Janelle, known for her composure, did not back down but doubled down, insisting that her critique had nothing to do with jealousy and everything to do with the patterns she had seen play out for decades in her own marriage to Kody. The tension between Janelle and David created an awkward split in the family gathering, with some siding with Christine and David, others quietly nodding at Janelle's perspective, and a few desperately trying to defuse the tension. But it was Robyn's voice that changed everything, and her brutal confession is still echoing in the minds of everyone who heard it, because she didn't just point out Kody's flaws. She dismantled his entire narrative, admitting that she had been sold on a dream of stability and unity that Kody never truly delivered, and then she went further, confessing that Kody had left her with the weight of being the scapegoat, a burden she never asked for, but one that she has been forced to carry in silence while fans and even family members demonized her. The power of Robyn's words wasn't just in what she said but in the timing, coming right after Janelle's drag of David. It was as if the two women, who had often been cast as opposites, unknowingly aligned in tearing down the illusions around the men in their lives, and the visual of Kody sitting there, shattered, as his last loyal partner questioned his loyalty, was described as haunting by someone who witnessed it firsthand. This isn't the first time Robyn has expressed frustration, but never before has she spoken with such rawness, such intensity, and it left Kody visibly shaken, his bravado crumbling as he realized that the very woman he had built his post-divorce life around was now airing her grievances in front of everyone. Social media immediately latched onto this, with hashtags like #JanelleDragDavid and #RobynConfesses trending for days, memes mocking Kody's stunned expressions flooding Twitter and TikTok, and fan theories sprouting about whether this confrontation was staged for TLC's cameras or whether it was one of those rare, unfiltered moments that reality television lives for. Insiders claim that producers were scrambling during the event, realizing that they had just captured television gold, the kind of raw implosion that could carry an entire season and perhaps even redefine the Sister Wives brand, because the show has always thrived on tension, but this moment elevated it to a whole new level. No longer was the conflict confined to the wives' relationships with Kody. Now it spilled over into Christine's supposedly happy new chapter, into Janelle's protective instincts, into Robyn's long-suppressed frustrations, leaving the audience with no clear hero or villain but instead a messy, complicated portrait of people trying to navigate love, loyalty, and betrayal in front of millions of viewers. Kody's reaction in the aftermath has been particularly telling. Rather than storming out or attempting to reclaim control, he sat in stunned silence, reportedly muttering that he never thought it would come to this, a phrase that has since been replayed in fan-made clips and parroted in countless online discussions, and for a man who once thrived on being the center of attention, the leader of his family, it was a sobering reminder that the world he built has not just crumbled but turned against him. Janelle, after delivering her drag, later confided in someone close to her that she didn't regret speaking up because she knew it needed to be said, and while she worried about damaging her bond with Christine, she also believed that real friends speak the truth even when it hurts, a sentiment that many fans applauded, seeing it as proof that Janelle's intentions were not rooted in jealousy, but in genuine concern. Robyn, on the other hand, has faced a mixed reaction. Some fans praised her for finally breaking her silence and showing a human side that went beyond the villain label, while others accused her of playing victim now that her relationship with Kody was under strain. And the debate rages on about whether Robyn's confession was a heartfelt plea for understanding or a strategic move to reshape her public image as the show barrels toward its next season. What cannot be denied, however, is that Kody was shattered, not just because his wives were united against him, but because the cracks had finally appeared in his one remaining safe space, his relationship with Robyn, and once that foundation begins to shake, everything else collapses. As fans await the next episode or season, the speculation only grows. Will Christine confront Janelle about the drag, defending David and risking their friendship, or will she quietly reflect on the uncomfortable truths in Janelle's words? Will Robyn continue to peel back the curtain on her disillusionment with Kody, or will she retreat back into silence once the cameras stop rolling? And most importantly, what will Kody do now that the people he once commanded with patriarchal confidence no longer bend to his narrative, but openly challenge it in front of the world? For years, Sister Wives has thrived on drama, but this feels different. This feels like a climax, a moment where the storylines intersect in ways that force every character to evolve, whether they want to or not, and for viewers, it is proof that reality television is at its best not when it shows perfection but when it exposes the cracks, the flaws, the confessions, and the drags that make us all lean forward, unable to look away.